Advice is never simple. Why look before you leap? If he who hesitates is lost. Live within your means is sage advice. But then, why are we encouraged to go big or go home? The value of advice is bound to your unique dreams and circumstances. Context isn't just king, it's the entire kingdom, son.
Welcome back to episode 9 of Elevate Water Polo on SuperSport Schools, proudly brought to you by Odin and Momentum. Great to be back here with my co-host, Luazi Madi. Luaz, nice to see you.
Yeah, good to be back, Dungs. We've had a little bit of been missing in action together for the past couple of weeks, but it was nice to see Delane on the other side of the camera with you and also just learning a little bit more about the lifestyle of water polo and PE. So, yeah, it's been great. Good to be back.
Nice one. Tell us about, as someone who's kind of heavily involved in a water polo program, what's happening at this time of year? Are you easing off a little bit? Are you kind of just doing some cleanups, planning for next year? What's the kind of demand on you?
Oh, it's a little bit of both. You feel less stress in terms of the pressures of the water polo world. But then on the other side, you need to get your ducks in a row. You've got to start planning your preseason. You've got to start planning when do you want that to start. You have to start organizing new coaches because some of the coaches you have leave and there's just a lot of changes. So this time is basically used to help mitigate that and help reduce your stress for the start of the year. So from a Bishop side, we're just trying to make sure that we're organized and everything. And I'm sure every school is doing the same thing. Pools are being used to capacity with IPT training. So it's been great to see that the Western Province teams are giving it their all. I think quite a few of them are pretty much training like every day, working around their exams timetables. So it's great to see that the kids are just as committed as the coaches for results.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be focusing in on some IPT specific content in segment 2 around Buffalo City. But as you said, the Gauteng teams are training hard. The KwaZulu-Natal, we checked in with Zimbabwe a few weeks ago. We've just been to NMB. So fantastic to see everyone really taking IPT so seriously and training so hard and preparing their teams.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be an absolutely insane IPTs. I think everyone feels the magnitude of that 50th edition, that 50th. Everyone wants to win that one. It means the most. So I think a lot of teams are just going to be hungry for that victory, especially that overall provincial medal.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the overall provincial medal might be the one that's going to be so tightly contested, being the 50th edition. And we're just 3 weeks out from that. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about IPT. So we've got the venues, which is going to be very interesting. We've got some fantastic venues up in Gauteng. The under-19 section is going to be at St. Stithians and St. David's, both great venues. I know you've played, obviously, St. Stithians being your school, and St. David's, I know you've played there in the Gauteng Invitational. Your thoughts on those two venues? Any preferences, anything that you love about either one of those?
Always going to be biased with the Saints pool. I think it's a great vicinity just to host as many games as you can really cram in quite a lot of fixtures there. So it's a great pool. St. David's also fantastic. That Jubilee pool is absolutely incredible. Got the opportunity to play in that earlier this year at the Gauteng Invitational competition. So amazing pool, amazing setup. So both under 19 teams will be very happy with their venues.
Yeah, really good. And then under 16, it's going to be at St. John's College Aquatic Centre and at Kingsmead for the ladies, for the girls. St. John's College, such a throwback for me. When I first started at the school, there was only one pool. It was the top pool. I'm not sure if you ever played in there. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have. But just fantastic to see the second pool, the Valley Pool, as we used to call it now, the St. John's Aquatic Centre. Just been able to be covered, and it's just such a great all year round venue. Have you had the chance to play there or practice there?
So funny enough, that pool that you were speaking about earlier, I swam many a galas there. So I had the opportunity to swim when I was at St. Stithians at galas in that little pool. So I was really shocked that was the pool that you guys used to play in. I've played obviously at the St. John's pool, the one you're speaking of, when I was at school, but it wasn't quite what it looked like now. And then I've had the opportunity to train at that pool a couple of times, the new Aquatics Indoor Center, and it's absolutely phenomenal. Incredible facilities. I think personally for me, one of the best indoor facilities I've seen in a while in South Africa. So very impressive. And I think it's actually going to be a great place to host this under 16 boys competition.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree. I'm laughing back because at the old St. John's pool at the top, it was pretty unfortunate. There's a pretty deep slope afterwards. So when you, if the shot misses, the game could stop for about 5 or 6 minutes while the ball was retrieved down by the basketball courts down the bottom there. Under 16 girls is going to be at Kingsmead, a really nice, condensed, tight venue, really intimate kind of venue there. I've been to that pool. Have you seen that venue before?
Yes, I have, Dunks. It's also really nice that they've placed both of them quite close to each other. So proximity-wise, it's not too far. It's very accessible for both boys and girls to get across there. About a 10-minute drive. So I think it's going to be very appropriate for that under 16 age group, and it's going to be a very tightly contested one. I'm very interested to see how some of our boys who played in the Beeper Summer Cup are going to be participating against each other. I think the Gauteng team is going to really want to push that Western Province team, and KZN with a lot of great players as well. So I think for me, that age group, both boys and girls, is going to be the one to watch.
Absolutely. Under 16 is going to be such a highlight of this IPT tournament, as Loazi points out. Under 15, we had King Edward's, also a fantastic indoor venue. We're looking forward to hosting our Bupa camps there in January, but just a great venue as well, honouring the heritage of the traditional facade of the front facade of the pool, but a brilliant venue, and one which I'm sure is going to see some great polo in under 15 boys as well. And then under 15 girls, a very well-known all year round venue, Wahoo, just on the St. Peter's precinct there. Going to be a great pool, and Mike Van Hille and his team do a fantastic job there, making water polo a year-round game in that venue. Under 14 boys and girls, Crawford International will be hosting the boys section, and Rodine will be hosting the girls section. You familiar with both those pools? Have you ever had a chance to play in either of those?
So Crawford, not so much. I've been to the venue a handful of times, more from a coaching perspective, but never had the opportunity to play in there. So I'm very interested. It's very narrow. It's quite tight. So it's going to be a great advantage for some teams if you utilize the space really nicely. And then Rodine is a classic. I've played in there as well and practiced there many a time. So I think the under 14 girls are going to be very privileged to be at such a prestigious school.
Yeah, and as you say, as you go through all these venues and all these schools who've made their venue available, it's just all the people behind the programs. So a big shout out to everyone involved. I know Gauteng are going to do an amazing job at each of those schools. You could list, the heroes who are behind the scenes. So a big shout out to all of them, and good luck with the final prep for that for the tournament. Under 13 boys is going to be split between St. John's and St. David's. That's also nice. We were talking about it off screen, just to say, under 13 guys are going to be able to watch some of the under 19 games and see their heroes in action.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be great to see those under 13s. They're just going to be inspired to see where they're going to possibly end up. So I'm really happy for them to be able to get the opportunity to play at such a prestigious school as well, such as St. David's. And I think it's also a great way for some kids to see the beauty of St. John's as well, while still being central to some of the others, like the under 16 boys and the under 16 girls. So it's going to be great for them. I think they're going to really look forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a great opportunity for young players to watch, as you say, some of the developmental steps upwards, the 16s and 19s. I think that's going to be great for them. And then definitely not to forget the under 13 girls is going to be at St. Stilians. Obviously, a huge amount of pool space and a great water polo precinct. So everything to look forward to at IPT. Good luck to all the organisers. I know it's a lot of work going on behind the scenes. To the LOC, we're looking forward to joining you, and obviously exciting as well that there's going to be some tournament teams which are going to be selected, which are potentially going to go overseas to some tours in April next year. So really exciting for those under 19 and under 16 age groups. There's going to be teams that are going to be selected, which are going to be Swipser colour teams, which are going to be travelling abroad in April of next year. Also exciting, Lawaz, we're kind of pulling our stuff together as Elevate. We've got some exciting international tours next year. We've got the under 16 boys, which you're going to be involved in as one of the head coaches there. Going to defend that tournament, defend the title in June in Spain. How does that feel for you?
Sure, it's going to be incredible, thanks. Just blown away with the venue and the organization from the Beeper team. So I think, this year we had such a strong team going forward, and they really stamped their authority really early on, and they became a menace to a lot of the teams that they were playing. And I'm really excited to bring that next generation through for that next year. So a lot to look forward to. Under 16 girls also going to be very competitive next year as well. So I think both boys and girls have a great year to look forward to. So much to play for in terms of international polo.
Absolutely, and Hannah Miller is going to be the coach for the Elevate Under 16 ladies team, and obviously she knows she's got a great team that we're going to hear more from later, but a great Under 15 team from Buffalo City, which is exciting to see some of those Eastern Cape kids coming through and getting the opportunity to represent at international level. So that's going to be really exciting. Then we've got some interesting news as well. We've been to the Next Generation Cup in Sabadell in just outside of Barcelona for the last 2 years. And we've previously made that an under-19 team in order to try and bridge the gap between school and senior polo. The organisers, BUPA, have said to us we actually have to make that under-18 teams, which is a great compliment that our Next Generation Cup teams are getting stronger and our South African water polo is getting stronger. But next year that's going to be an under-18 team. So it's going to be next year's kind of grade 11s and grade 12s. Any thoughts on that? I mean, you've been to the Next Generation Cup. Any thoughts on that tour?
Thanks. I think it's a great opportunity for some of our youngsters to really step up to the plate. So they're going to be playing against some of the strongest clubs in the world. And it's an absolute privilege to get to play against these clubs, especially kids who are of their own age. So I'm very excited for these under-18s. I think, looking at my under-18 career, would have loved to have the opportunity to play against the Fenerbahce, Sabadell, all those clubs around Spain. So I think they're going to be very, very happy with this transition into under 18, and it'll be more of a tougher aspect to adapt for them, but I think they're going to adapt really well.
Yeah, and as you say, some of those Hungarian clubs just at under 18 level are probably the benchmark in Europe at the moment. So really exciting for the next year's grades 11s and 12s to be literally going up against some of the best clubs in Europe in the Next Generation Cup. And then to stay true to our philosophy of making sure that we don't lose players, or we give players the opportunity to stay in the game year after school, we're going to do an under-19 tour, which the details are yet to be confirmed, but that's definitely in the plans, to just make sure that those first-year students and first-year out-of-school kids get the opportunity to compete internationally in their first year out of school. And then obviously the Nordic League is upon us. We're heading into the first round next week, or in 2 weeks' time. And that's an under-23 competition, which is really, for me, one of the most important to provide opportunity between a kind of under-20 level athletes and a senior international level. So that's a segment that Elevate is specifically trying to target into. Can you tell us from your perspective, when you think back to those years, what's the importance of that developmental step?
I think it's just easier for you to adapt when you have that bridging competition. So when I started playing for the men's team, it was really just a humbling experience playing against some of the top clubs. And I think if I had a little bit more experience at like a lower level, just to help get my bearings a bit better, I think the transition into that men's polo wouldn't have felt like such a baptism of fire. So I agree. I think this is such a great thing that's done by Elevate. I think the players that are going are really going to learn from it. You get many more years after you've competed at that under-19, not Summer Cup, sorry, the one in Sabadell. It's a really great way for you to actually now transition into a higher standard of water polo before going into that higher level of men's polo. So I'm really excited to see what our under-23s are going to get cooking up over there, and I think they're going to do very well.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So watch out for details in this space. We've decided to widen our nets a little bit more. We're going to be watching IPT and making sure that we notice all the talent in all of those kind of under 16 and under 19, even under 15 age groups this year. And we're going to be asking them to submit swim times, medicine ball test times, as well as some real live game footage from the SuperSport Schools app. So watch out for those details. Submit your entry, show your interest in getting on board in those tours. And I think that's going to be a really exciting 2026. We're going to be back after a short break.
Advice is never simple. Why look before you leap? If he who hesitates is lost, live within your means is sage advice. But then, why are we encouraged to go big or go home? The value of advice is bound to your unique dreams and circumstances. Context isn't just king, it's the entire kingdom, son.
Welcome back to the Elevate Water Polo show on SuperSport Schools, brought to you by Odin and Momentum. Great to feature one school in particular today, Grey College, a school which is extremely well known for its sports, specifically for its rugby, produced an insane amount of rugby Springboks. But we took the time to go on the weekend and did a camp at Grey College, and we're really excited to give them a little bit of a feature in this show. So, Luaz, any experience? Did you play Grey College Bloem at water polo?
Yes, thanks. So actually I had a lot of interactions with Grey Bloem. We played them, I don't know, there was a stage where we were playing them basically every tournament. They were always in our group. And there would actually be a team that was actually really fast. They had a lot of swimmers. They have a strong swimming program there at the time. I'm not sure about now, but their swimming program was tops and they had some very fast players. So it actually turned out to be quite a fitness session, because if you didn't score on the other side, then you know you're facing a counter attack the other way. So yeah, great fast swimming school. Obviously they just were lacking in terms of their skill development. So it's really great to hear that a camp was done there. I think it's very much needed.
Yeah, Devin Card and Steph Swart were up there on the weekend and running a really good camp. And as you say, the feedback's been hugely positive about just the willingness to learn, the willingness to improve on the technical skills. Obviously, great athletes and great swimmers, all the way back to Ryk Nettling, who actually now has played a little bit of water polo out in the Paarl area. But really strong swimmers. But great to see, the enthusiasm for water polo, the desire to learn, etc. And when we delved into it a little bit, I did some groundwork. So Eric Rosenberg was probably one of the most famous water polo players from Grey College. In fact, they tell me he was the only player ever to play for the Springboks from Grey College. Wow. And represent South Africa. Since then, there's been some really interesting names, most of them from the front row, actually. Mm-hmm. Ollie Leroux was a very talented all-round sportsman, and water polo was one of those. He played provincial water polo for Free State, as did Bismarck Du Plessis, the well-known Springbok rugby hooker. Also played some great polo for Grey College. Andries Truscott as well, another great rugby player who also played provincial water polo for Free State and represented Grey College. And then, as I mentioned, more recently, we had guys like Chris Mankies, who's been a big driver in Boland water polo. He was a grey old boy. His good friend, Ryk Nettling, one of South Africa's greatest swimmers of all time on the men's side, a gold medalist from the Athens Olympics in the freestyle relay. And then more recently, some names like Jacques Pinard, who was at Marty's for many years, a great college player. So Grey College has got a really strong kind of provincial track record in terms of the players that they've delivered to Free State, and then those players going on to play good polo, but definitely an emerging region, Lois.
Yeah, absolutely, Dan. It's always like a hidden gem there. When I used to go to that Grey Bloem tournament that used to happen at the beginning of the year. Before, it was this culmination of an age group kind of competition, and it was always, as you went into that school, it always just felt like there was this talent that was just in the air. It was just lofted there. There's just this presence that the school has, and they really take pride in everything that they do. So we always felt like if they had the right conditions, the right coaching, they could really become a sleeping giants that could be woken up. So yeah, it's really great to see some exciting stuff happening in Bloem.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to go to one of their foremost coaches. Paul Aldrich is going to tell us a little bit about how the camp was and how things are at Grey Water Polo.
Hello, it's Paul Aldrich from Grey College Water Polo, first team coach at the moment. We're really having an interesting water polo program at the moment. We've got a lot of young boys ready to play. At training camp, 40 boys this weekend. I really enjoyed it. Grey College Water Polo at the moment is in an interesting place. We don't have any competition in Bloemfontein or the Free State at the moment, so we only go and play water polo tournaments in Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban. So we have to travel quite a bit. There's no competition in Bloemfontein. So there's no provincial water polo in Bloemfontein, which is a challenge as well. But we have 40 to 60 boys really keen on water polo. and they want to play. They want to play. They want the opportunity to play. We are hosting a tournament at the end of January for the first team. ITEC tournament. It's been running for well over 40 years. Great teams coming up to that for that one. So we really hope to expand that tournament even more. And then at the end of the year, around October, we are looking to host under 14 tournament, which fell away a bit with the after COVID. And we're really hoping to get 20 under 14 teams again running that tournament to give our boys more exposure of we've got a first team, second team, under 14s and 15s. And I think there's a big gap under 16, the second team water polo that needs to be filled. And we are going to a tournament in Durban for the second team for the first time in quite a while that there's a second team running. But yeah, we're really excited about water polo at Bloem. At Bloem, we are keen to play and keen to learn and keen to use the skills that we learn in the pool. And that complements the rugby and the hockey and other sports at the school as well. So we got a heating system in place now for the winter. So we'll have a winter program running, hopefully soon, or as soon as the winter starts, of course. And yeah, we're just having fun times here in Bloemfontein. And that's what it's about, water polo fun. Playing competitive water polo against some of the top schools. We only play about max 40 games a year over 5 or 6 tournaments. So that really makes it difficult to compete at the highest level. So we're really putting some programs in place, some conditioning and practices and quality practices with high intensity and game specific practices so that we can compete against some of the top schools. We're a very loyal school, and some of the values of the school are really embedded in water polo, hard work, and that pays off. So we're really keen on water polo at Grey Bloem. And we hope to see you in January for our first team tournament. It's a nice tournament at the start of the season for most of the Joburg and Durban schools coming up. Yeah, it's just a good vibe here for the water polo at the moment. And thanks for the opportunity to be on the show and getting Grey College water polo back on the map where it should be. I hope you enjoyed it and have a good day.
Now, having heard from the guys in Grey Bloem in the middle of the country, we're going to go a little bit southeast. We're going down to Buffalo City, a really proud water polo history down in Buff. Schools like Selborne, Clarendon, Stirling, Port Rex, Hudson Park, wonderful water polo culture there over many, many decades.
Absolutely, Dunks. I think, seeing Selborne and their re-emergence back into the water polo scene has been fantastic. I think they struggled a little bit in the last few years, but they had a really strong year last year and had a really great start of the year this year. So shout out to Storm and Paige Meacham as well on that side for working so hard on the boys' side. On the girls' side, obviously, we've got Hannah Muller, who's doing a really great job at Clarendon. Basically feels like she's actually coaching the entire school at times. You see her at all the different age group sports, with also first team coach as well. So yeah, all three of those coaches are doing amazing things. Not to mention Chloe Meacham as well, working at Stirling, as well as Kangisa working at Hudson Park, and Ryan Vaderman just arrived there as well. So yeah, a lot of great coaching there. So it's really going to be exciting to see what happens to them over the next few years.
Yeah, and absolutely, it'd be wrong to talk about East London as well and not mention the Keat family. Father Russell, Mother Nona, big legends of the Buffalo City aquatics scene, and then as well as the daughters, obviously Lee Keat, who's just moved back to Clarendon Primary. So watch out for Clarendon Primary. I'm sure Lee's going to be whipping them back into shape. And then Marcel, also a great water polo player in the middle there, and Sam also doing great things. And all three of those sisters played together in the Rome World Championships in 2009, which is a special South African sporting moment. We're going to hear from some of the coaches who are coaching some of the age groups. Specifically, we believe that some of the junior girls groups are particularly strong. We're going to chat to some of their coaches and hear what they had to say.
Okay, my name is Storm Sibbett. I'm currently the under-19A boys Buffalo City water polo coach. I'm definitely looking forward to RPT this year. Our team's looking a little bit different compared to last year. We've got two returning players that played last year in Thomas Caswell and Samuel van der Venter. Definitely two boys to watch out for. They've been there before, and they're definitely going to guide our team throughout RPT. In saying that, we do have a couple boys who played under 16 RPT last year coming through the ranks, so they'll be excited to. They'll be very excited for the opportunity and the chance. And then we've got a couple other players that maybe haven't played RPT before, but they are getting their chance, and they are also just as excited. With regards to our prep and coming into RPT, luckily East London is a small town, so we can have lots of trainings, lots of extra practice matches, etc. going into RPT. So lots of players are available to come to trainings often, and we can get lots of trainings done throughout the week. It just can be tough with exams and lots of our boys writing prelims, etc. So that can be a little bit of a tough task to deal with, but it's pretty easy to change practices around with regards to their extra lessons or their prelims and exams. The group, mostly a young group of boys, a couple matrics, but mainly grade 11s. So my expectations for RPT would just be to take it one game at a time. We definitely can do well, but we know who we're coming up against in the likes of Gauteng, in the likes of Western Province, KZN, etc. But it seems to be a common theme that lots of matrics are not actually playing or stepping aside and focusing on their exams. So it could work in our favor if other provinces are also on that similar page. We definitely will be underdogs going into RPT, like any general Buffalo City team or boys Buffalo City team, but we're definitely going to relish the opportunity to go up against the big teams, and you never know what might happen there. But yeah, we've been training really hard. Hopefully we're getting there fitness wise and legs wise and physicality wise. The boys know what we're expecting at RPT, and as long as we can match it for those first three chukkers and get through that third chukker, which is normally where it's won or lost, then we should be in the fight at the end of every game there. With regards to Buffalo City Polo in general, we always fight above our weight, and the girls side tends to be in medal conversations a lot more than the boys side. Lots more depth there, but lots of our girls sides look to be going strong, and definitely one or two of them will definitely be in the medal situation at the end of RPT, I would believe. As Buffalo City this weekend, we are actually going to Makanda to go and play against Nelson Mandela Bay, which is amazing preparation for us. Every team's getting 2 or 3 games this weekend against different or various Nelson Mandela Bay sides, and that's amazing prep for us going into RPT to see kind of where we're at compared to them, and get some much needed match preparation going into RPT.
Hello everyone, I'm David Connor, the coach of the under-14 girls water polo team for Buffalo City. The prep for myself has been pretty good. Obviously the girls are busy with exams at the moment, so having to balance between that and being able to coach them is pretty tough, but I'm sure the girls themselves are enjoying the relief of getting a break. And obviously we all know with water polo it's not always like that. But prep-wise, obviously we hosted RPT last year, so it's a little bit different for us. Obviously traveling up to Johannesburg, quite a trip. So that comes at a cost for the girls. So lots of fundraising's been had. But yeah, the team in general has been getting a lot of practice games in. We've been playing against the under 13 boys, under 14 under 15B girls. So the prep side has been good. Obviously, this weekend, I know we're going to Grahamstown or Makanda now, where we're going to be playing EP, so different fixtures, which is great for Buffalo City, obviously, to get prep going towards RPT in Johannesburg. And it is nice to play our local rivals because we've always been at a very similar level towards EP. Obviously, having similar backgrounds, being a smaller town, relying on a smaller number of schools. So it is nice to get those competitive games going into RPT. And I know the formats are going to be run exactly how RPT is going to be run. So it's very good prep for us, especially as a smaller province. So my girls in particular, it's quite a strong age group. I know at school level, a lot of them are Clarendon, Stirling, and Merrifield girls, and they've got some very good results at their school levels. I think I've got 5 Clarendon girls, 5 Stirling girls, and then 3 Merrifield girls. So it's a good mix, and all of them are going to be ready for RPT.
So great to hear from those great coaches. Particularly excited to see what Buffalo City can do in all the age groups, but specifically in the girls 15, 14, and 13. I think that's really exciting. Lawaz, the boys side of things, your thoughts there, any insights?
Yeah, Dunk. So I think I'm very excited to see what the boys are going to do, especially in that under 16, 15, and under 19 age group. And under 19s, you've got Storm, who's done such a great job with Selborne recently, pulling them out of like a slump that they were in for a while, not getting the results that they were looking for, but now starting to be competitive, causing a lot of those top schools headaches. So I'm very excited to see what he's going to do with this under 19 team, which has been building up for quite a while. And then under 16A, you've got Luke Siebert. So I'm going to be very excited to see what he's going to do. He's got some talented guys. Joshua Toich, which was one of the reserve goalkeepers that we had for the under 16 BPA Summer Cup. So I'm very excited to see his developments over the past few months. I haven't seen him in a while. And then, of course, under 15A, we've got Kangisa, the legend, Cakes, they call him. So I'm very excited to see his team as well. He usually does really well at IPTs and gets some really good results. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do with a competitive under 15 team.
Absolutely. So cool to talk about all things East London and Buffalo City. Freeze and milkshake and tournaments at the Joan Harrison is a part of any good water polo education in South Africa.
100%.
So great to talk about them, and we'll see you shortly after the next break.
Advice is never simple. Why look before you leap? If he who hesitates is lost. Live within your means is sage advice. But then, why are we encouraged to go big or go home? The value of advice is bound to your unique dreams and circumstances. Context isn't just king, it's the entire kingdom, son.
So welcome back to the Elevate Water Polo Show on 216, brought to you by SuperSport Schools and our generous sponsors, Odin and Momentum. I've got 2 really great people to talk about. This segment is about growing water polo, and I thought there's no better case study than the guys sitting to my right is Kerry van Niekerk. Welcome, Kerry.
Thank you so much.
And a good friend of mine, Rick Breers-Danks. These guys have been doing something which I think is particularly valuable for the water polo community. This is a schools show, this is a schools audience, but what these guys have done is they brought the parents back into schools water polo and creating a really cool ecosystem. So I'm going to go first to Rick. Rick, 2-3 years now. Tell us how it all started with the dads and lads.
Thanks. I mean, back then, our boys, some of the dads, we used to play water polo at school and have been out of playing polo for kind of 20 years, I guess. And we sort of got together and we said, hey, our boys are like under 10 and 11. Why don't we see if we can get more time in the water with them? And that's kind of how we started. We approached Rondebosch Water Polo Club. They gave us a time slot. And it was just so much fun, and it grew from there. And we had a couple of ground rules there, that you had to be playing with a parent. We didn't just want to be a babysitting service and people just dropping off kids, just to come play polo. But so we had to set a couple of ground rules, and we got going. Club gave us some time to play, and from there, Matt Van Niekerk, who's head of polo at Rondebosch Prep School, saw value in this, and he's actually given us like a 2-hour slot on a Saturday. And it's just grown from there. We've got a thing called we call it Mads and Lads now, Dunks. And we've got moms and dads. And you've been down there with your boys, and we've got some really, really cool energy. And it just gives more time in the pool, I guess, with the kids.
Yeah, and what I particularly love about it is a couple of things. So the first one is seeing people who once loved water polo come back into the game. And there's a lot of names that we could go through, people who played, first team level at school and provincial level, etc., who've been effectively lost to the game, not taking part, maybe watching from a distance, but now you guys have been the reason that so many of those guys have got back in. I mean, do you want to just talk specifically to that?
Yeah, so it started off as, just a couple of dads, having fun and playing in the pool for an hour on a Saturday. And as it progressed, a lot of the dads were kind of like, hey, why don't we play a bit more? And you're quite right. Most of those guys, we do have 1 or 2 players that have literally never played water polo before, and they just like the energy and the vibe. But most people, you're right, have either played, schools, water polo, or provincial, some more than that. But by no means are we like amazing players, but we've been lost to the game for 20 years, and now to get back in and start playing, and we've been to 2 Masters now, Dunks. Our team is called the Whales, aptly named, I think. And it's all about having fun. We have a lot of fun. We've got a big squad now. We could literally almost make 2 teams. But we have we have a lot of fun. And we're playing third league polo. We play some youngsters, and they punish us a bit. Our game's a bit slower, but it's so much fun. And I think that's what, for me, I haven't played a team sport since school, and what I love about it is playing a team sport again. It's physical, it's demanding, but it's fun, and so we're loving it.
Amazing. And we talk about it all the time on the show about how great our school's infrastructure is, and just so amazing to see that infrastructure welcoming people back into the game. So I'm going to go to Kerry now, and so exciting, Kerry, like what you have done with the Turtles from a Mads and Lads, Moms and Dads and Lads thing. Tell us a little bit about, and I want you to go to the very beginning, because I know it's been a journey. So tell us about, where did this start?
Okay, well, it also actually started on the side of the Mads and Lads pool. I think a couple of us mums jumped in very nervously, having probably put on a cosy in 20 plus years. And I don't know, it just, the love of the game sparked again. And I mentioned to a very good friend of mine, Robin Dreyer, I said to her, I was like, Robsy, come on, we've got to do something. This is ridiculous. We can't have the dads having their whales fun and we don't get any fun. So it went from that. Robs and I were like, let's see who we can rope in. And it started off with 8 of us, and 8 of us jumped in the pool. We really just messed around quite a lot, but had all the fun and remembered what we loved about the sport. And now, since that was sort of the end of last year, so we played half a season then. Well, I say played, we were in the pool for half a season. The school was also kind enough to give us an hour pool time. So, and then we sort of joined Masters a little bit. We've now got pool time in the evenings. So we've grown from 8 of us, and now I think there are 16 of us. We got Kit a couple of weeks ago. We played our first game against the Renegades, which is also a mum's team that's based at St. Sips. We won, which was very exciting. There was even a Mexican wave, which is even more exciting. I think it's exactly very similar to, we modeled ourselves very similarly off the Whales. Come down, have some fun, see where it goes. There's some social moms that come along, but we've got sort of a core team of 16 moms. It's fantastic. It's really given us all a space to rediscover ourselves in a way, and to, as I said, find the love of the sport again, which is just, water polo is epic. So we've had all the fun.
That's brilliant, and I love the fact that, like you've identified, that, moms and daughters and sons and all this love of the game has been so exciting. So give us some of the key ingredients, because I know it hasn't been an easy journey.
Yeah, I think it's just there's been a lot of yes. We've been lucky that we've had the original 8 that have kind of being the drivers behind it all, getting other moms in the pool, just saying like, come down. You don't have to play a match. You don't have to even be able to swim. Like we've also got some moms that never played water polo. Probably I don't even know if they swam school sport. Swam for their schools. And we've just really made it an open, honest place where we can all just have a lot of fun. And then when we realized that we were maybe getting a little bit more serious, we actually introduced a coach. So Matt Van Niekerk is coaching us at the moment, which has honestly been quite game-changing because it's really difficult to coach when you're in the pool. So I was coaching and Robsy Dreyer was coaching a little bit, and another friend of ours, Kate, she was doing swimming sessions. But it's really difficult when you're in the pool because you can't actually see what's going on, really. And you also, I'm relearning the game myself. So with Matt having come in this term, it's really been a big game changer of actually having someone that can tell you, okay, guys, try this, or let's work on that. And he started completely from the basics. He really did, like with treading and sculling and basic passing really close, moving it to further away. And now, we practiced our first man up and man down the other day, which was terrifying in itself, but like really, really fun. I forgot how much you have to move all over the place, but yeah, that's been a big game changer and lifted us up one extra level, I think.
Excellent, and big shout out to Matt Van Niekerk for, servant of the game, done amazing things at the school and just continues to make himself available for other forums. So you mentioned something, Kerry, and I'm going to go back to Rick now, is, the game has changed a lot. The game has changed. The rule changes have been rapid in the last 4 years especially. How was that process, number one, educating some guys on the rules for a start, and then the rule changes? What has been the major kind of learnings there for you?
Yeah, so Dunks, in the Wales we have a bit of a code, and the first one part of that code is you just got to add value, whether that's in the pool or outside the pool. Just got to be a good guy and add value. The second one is sort of around the All Blacks mantra that they play by, which is no jerks, and we really try and live by that. The people that play in our team, we just want good oaks.
Yeah, I think it's really important. And I think so. As the viewers watching out there, for any of you out there who are wanting to start something similar in your school or city or town, I think having those kind of boundaries or having that starter kit, I think is super valuable. Kerry, I want to come back to you. So, being a mom, what's the impact on your kids and those around you, seeing you get back in the pool and that kind of thing?
So my son is at Rondebosch and he plays for the under-11 side. And I think having him seeing me in the pool has really been an eye-opener for him, because I certainly think he's going like, geez, my mom's back in the pool and she's playing water polo. And there's been like a shift in the respect almost. Not that he didn't respect me in the beginning, but, he's seen me on a different level. And then my little girl, she's only 8, but, she's just so keen to jump in the pool now. And I think, because we're all moms in the Turtles, what we've tried to say is that kids are always included. Like they can't be with you in the pool, but they can be around. And the Rondebosch Water Polo Club setup is such that there are always kids around, that it is what it is. So the latties are in the pool with us, having a jaw. We've played a few games where there's some mums with older girls that have jumped in the pool with us as well. And I think it goes back to like building of the sport again. And if you can get that love to kick in from little, like 7 or 8 years old, and you can play I suppose we play actually as a family, all 4 of us play, which is really amazing. And yeah, I think that moms can include their children and not have to worry about babysitters and things like that. It's a huge weight off our shoulders, and you can get some exercise in at the same time. It's fantastic.
I absolutely love that, everything about that. So to kind of close off this segment, a final question for Rick, which might be potentially an awkward one, is Rick, I know some of the boys have actually now probably outpaced you and they've probably outgrown the Wales setup. So how does that feel to have, taken your young lads and then, you almost kind of, you've delivered them ready to kind of wave them off and go and play some Premier League polo one of these days?
Yeah, thanks. And this has all been evolving, right? We started with these youngsters when they were under 10, let's say, and we now got to play Mads and Lads with them. We then ended up starting a league team, and they played with us. And these were like, under 30, under 12, under 13, under 14. Those boys are now kind of part of Etienne Leroux's kind of first team squad. And he's taken those guys now into the Bears, which is, above us. and it's really cool to see. And we now getting the next set of our kids, which are under 13, under 14, coming through. So it's like a little bit of a conveyor belt, really, starting right from Mads and Lads all the way through. So yes, they are too good for us, and they don't worry, there's no lack in confidence there. They tell us that they carry us, which is probably true, to be fair. But it's been great fun, and they get the same kit as us when they play in our league team, and it's all about having a nice community and fun. So yeah, it's cool.
Well, brilliant. You guys have done a great job from start to finish. I know the Wales kit is particularly good, and the Turtles as well. So great job, you guys. Thank you so much for what you're doing to bring the community back together. And we love everything you do, and we look forward to having you on the show sometime in the future to hear maybe about some tours or some exciting stuff out of City. So thank you both, and we'll be back after this short break.
Advice is never simple. Why look before you leap? If he who hesitates is lost. Live within your means is sage advice. But then, why are we encouraged to go big or go home? The value of advice is bound to your unique dreams and circumstances. Context isn't just king, it's the entire kingdom, son.
Welcome back to Elevate Water Polo Show on 216, brought to you by SuperSport Schools and our generous sponsors Odin and Momentum. Great to hear from all those interesting folks around the country, and great to see that water polo is truly alive and well in all parts of the community. In this last segment, we've had so much overwhelming interest from people who are playing water polo overseas. We're going to feature some more guys. Specifically, we're going to start with the boys. We'll do a feature on the ladies coming very soon. But Lawaz, your thoughts on all those players playing overseas and the importance of bringing them back into the conversation?
I really think that these players are really getting their money's worth, thanks. I think it's such an important step if you want to grow your water polo and also get an experience of living that foreign lifestyle. So it's really great to see that some of these players, especially the Saints ones, are doing so well overseas. Luca Imbrogio, I know his team, CBU, won. I can't remember what competition it was, but they basically won that competition, which allowed them to play into a higher division. So they did really, really well there. I know Nicholas Ford is there as well, who's just recently joined. And obviously you've got Noah Bagara, such a formidable centre forward who terrorized defenders for years and years and years, who's doing very, very well at his university in America. So yeah, I think it's such an important step to help these guys not only grow in confidence, but to grow the understanding of the game. And, we're hoping, obviously, once they finish that side, they come back here and just help replenish our national team.
Absolutely. And some of the outputs from last week's guys we featured was the amount of time spent on video analysis. That was definitely something that stuck out for me, both fitness, the emphasis of conditioning and fitness, as well as game analysis is something we can definitely bring more into our local game. But let's hear what they had to say.
Hello, my name is Ethan McLeod. I went to school at St. Peter's College in Johannesburg and finished in 2022. I am grateful to my school because the coaches I had there allowed me to grow and excel and get me to where I am now. I started my journey in the US in 2023. I went to West Valley College where I competed for 2 years, earned All-American honors both years, and I have transferred to my now current school. I am now at Cal State Fullerton, which is located in Southern California, just outside of Los Angeles. We compete in the Big West Conference at Division 1. The experience I've had here has been nothing like it. When I first got here, it was a big jump. I wasn't quite ready for how quickly the game plays and how the level difference was just insane. But apart from the beginning, the experience I've had here has been insane. Just from sharing the pool deck with people from all over the world. I've had teammates from Germany, Serbia, New Zealand, Turkey, Hungary, Italy, and of course Americans, and learning all the different types of water polo from all those countries and how they play and how different everyone thinks. It's something I cannot describe. It's something you just have to experience on your own. It's nothing like it. For all those who want to follow in my footsteps, who want to come to America, want to come play water polo, just be prepared to work hard. It's nothing like you will ever experience back in South Africa. But if you're willing to put in the work hard, I can guarantee you will have the most amazing time. You'll make amazing friends. You'll play really, really good high-level water polo. It's really fun. You can do it in many different ways, going straight to Division 1, going Division 2, 3, even going junior college, starting off. There's so many different ways to get here. There's so many different things to do. So if you want to do it, just be prepared to work. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Noah Bigara. I'm a proud alumnus of SACS Junior and High School. The three things that I am most grateful for that SACS offered me is 1, the immense pride and fierce that I developed for water polo, as well as the insane support that was on the side of the pool that I found nowhere else. Number 2, the unmatched coaching I received from Devon Card, JC Singer, and management from Mr. McKinnon. And lastly, the best teammates I could have ever wished for. I am currently studying at Whittier College, which is a D3 university located in Los Angeles, California, and the experience has been great so far. It has been awesome to learn a completely different style of polo and having had to adapt to a much more technical and statistically focused game, which I wasn't used to back home. To the young water polo players of South Africa, I would encourage all of you to play as much water polo as you can and to make sure that you look after your bodies outside of the pool. Keep working hard and trusting your coaches and push to better our country in the sport of water polo through any adversity you might be facing. If at first you don't succeed, try and try again until you prove not only to yourself but to everyone who supported you along the way that you can become the best polo player that you can be.
So wonderful to hear from all those guys playing water polo overseas. It's just great to see South Africans doing well in the different parts around the world, specifically in the US. And we're going to continue the US theme. We've got our Elevate Bupa camps coming up in January. We're going to be heading around the country. We're going to be in Johannesburg first. Then we're going to be going to Durban, to PE, and down to Cape Town to have a series of camps where we invite our Spanish friends and coaches from the Barcelona International Water Polo Academy who've been really brilliant in helping us to upskill ourselves and to bring great coaches down to South Africa. So Lawaz, the first one is David Carrasco. Have you been in touch with David? You know who David is? Have you seen his CV, anything like that?
I've never met David. Never had the privilege, so I'm very excited to meet him when he arrives in Cape Town. But I do know a little bit about him. I do know that he's coached at several clubs, such as CN Ruby in Spain. He's coached at, is it Fluvial, I believe, in Portugal. And obviously now is at LMU, where we've had some South African players attend for university there. So I'm very excited to see what he brings. I think he'll bring that nice elements of Spanish flair whilst also bringing some of that United States side of it. And he's also a great example of a coach and who will show the players what coaches are looking for on that side. So very excited to have him, and I'm sure the players will be very excited to have him as well.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to having David on site just to kind of, as you say, share the, what a US college coach is looking for and what are the things that are important. So David's going to be traveling to Johannesburg, to Durban, and to Cape Town, and really looking forward. He was an All-American player, as you say. He played for the Spanish under-20 national team, which is a super high level, and now he's a coach at a really credible La Jolla Marymount University, which is a very credible program in the US. So great to have him. He's going to be joined by a familiar friend, Gabor Agedi. Gabor, you know him well. Your thoughts on traveling, doing the road trip with Gabor last year, January?
Yeah, thanks. I'm very excited to have Gabor back. He's just a coach who does really well at bringing the best out of players. The way he approaches the game, the way he speaks about his polo, you can see he's so passionate. And I think that's a key characteristic as to why he galvanizes so many players. So I'm really excited to see Gabor again, see the new stuff that he's learned. He's such a character as well. He's always keeping up the humor despite the heat, despite the conditions. So, yeah, I think the players who attended last year's camp are going to be very excited to see him again. And they're going to learn so much from him as well.
Yeah, I always enjoy Gabor. I think he brings something very unique. As you say, he's really focused, but he's also a lot of fun. And as a player, he played professional water polo in his native Hungary, in Spain, in France, and in Germany. So just superb experience that he's got from around Europe. And then more recently for the ladies, he's been a coach at CN Catalunya, which is a key Barcelona club. And he's been coaching that program for the last 8 or 9 years. So two great coaches. Look out for the details on the Elevate socials and websites around signing up for those camps, which are coming in January. Really exciting to have that rolling around in the very near future. Loaz, as is customary, Odin, every week we choose an Odin School of the Week. Who's yours for this week?
So my Odin School of the Week is going out to Sun Valley Primary in Fishhook, Cape Town. So they played the Bishops under 13As and drew 3-3. So I know draw doesn't really seem like such a significant result, but for a school of that size and that magnitude, it's an absolutely brilliant result. Nicholas Molyneux has done an incredible job with building that Sun Valley program. He's had some excellent players come through over the previous years who have just been such influential players, who have made provincial teams, who have earned scholarships to go to some of the strongest schools in Cape Town. So he's done such a great job of lifting that program. So yeah, that is my School of the Week.
Brilliant, and couldn't be more fitting. Nick Molyneux, a great servant of the game, a great player who's represented South Africa at many, many levels, and great to see some of the kind of outlying areas delivering great water polo players, because we really want to grow this sport beyond the big city schools. We want to take it out to the whole country. So a shout out to them. And then we're going to cross over now to Delane for her Momentum Moment of the Week.
Hello to all our Elevate on 216 viewers. The Momentum Moment of the Week goes to Axel Jorgensen, 13 years old from Grade Junior School in Port Elizabeth, and he also plays for the NMB under 13A side. Axel was a key player for the Sharks Eco League team, coached by Seku Zondani, and Coach Zondani shared some key stats with me. He said that on average, Axel scored 3 goals a game, contributed 5 assists, and made 4 steals a game. But the real momentum moment comes from the semi-final against the Crocodile, ranked the top team in the tournament. Axel marked their star player Josh Parker, who happens to be his school teammate, and he got Josh 3 majors, took control of the game, and then scored the winning goal to carry his team through to the final. Axel Jorgensen, a young player who knows how to step it up and rise to the occasion. Well done to Axel, well done to the Sharks team, and well done to all involved in the Eco League tournament.
Thank you very much to Delane. And now we're going to do, as is customary, our best goal and best defensive player of the week. So again, these are clips that you can clip off the SuperSport Schools app or and submit them in through the Elevate website for the best goal of the week and the best defensive player of the week. And this week we are proud to announce the best goal of the week goes to Olivia Atwell, a lady we know very, very well. She's from Pearson, and the goal of the week was a great man-up bounce shots into the top left corner. The best defensive player of the week comes out of Durban. So DHS, your Cameron Phipps, the goalkeeper, who's going to be acknowledged for being the best defender of the week or showing the best defensive player of the week. Then you remember a few weeks ago in episode 7, we wanted to give some acknowledgement to some of the B team coaches, the C team coaches, the D team coaches, and the second and third team coaches. So we called for people to give us kind of feedback on why they thought their coach was particularly special or why they found them very valuable. And we had a clip sent in for Coach Cameron de Kock from Rondebosch Boys Prep School. Great to have Cameron being acknowledged for what he does for his students in the Rondebosch 12B. And Mateo Woods has got a short clip to tell us why.
Hello, my name's Mateo Woods, and my favorite coach is Coach Cam of the Under 12B team at Rondebosch Boys. He's my favorite coach because he's super supportive and always positive.
Thanks, Mateo. Good to keep it in the family there.
Yeah, Dan, so it's so special to hear the little ones talking about water polo. I'm sure as a dad, seeing your kid playing water polo is obviously such a special feeling. But it's great for Mateo to give such recognition to such a great coach like Cameron. I think it's really important that we do give that acknowledgement to those coaches, because they are going to be the future A-team coaches that other kids will be looking up to and other coaches will be looking up to. So I'm really a big fan of this.
Yeah, I think it's really important that all our B team and C team coaches and players get the acknowledgement they deserve. They are the vast majority of our players come from those teams, right? So let's encourage them, both coaches and players, to keep going, keep developing, and keep enjoying their water polo. And then just as we end off the show, a bit of a sad note, unfortunately, we lost another great member of the community. Neville Davies was an outstanding member of the water polo community for so many years. Neville captained the Rhodesian national team back in the days, and then he moved south to South Africa to captain South Africa. He then was a coach for Western Province and for South Africa, and he also representing South Africa as well. A huge contributor to the game, was involved right up until the age of 79 when he played in his Masters earlier this year. So Neville Davies, thinking of him, thinking of his family at this time, but really just acknowledging one of water polo's great contributors to the game. And then as we end off this episode, we are really excited to announce we're going to be applying our minds this week, because next week in episode 10, we're going to be doing the Term 4 awards. We're going to be thinking of all the schools and players who really deserve recognition, who've had an absolutely outstanding Term 3 and 4, and we look forward to bringing that to you next week. Luaz, great to be with you again.
Always good to be back, thanks. Thanks so much for having me on the show again, and looking forward to next week.
We'll see you soon.